at
2:30 probably?
2, 3 in the morning, and we just got done watching Avengers Infinity War. I want to get this review out as soon as possible to discuss it with a lot of you who managed to get early tickets. Now, in order to respect everybody's wishes, because I had a panic attack when we went to the theater early, I didn't want anybody to spoil this, so I was like, nah. So stay away from the comments, stay away from all this if you're watching it too early. And if you're expecting a non-spoiler review, it's going to be kind of tough. So what we're actually going to do is take like 5 minutes to just run through what is kind of about the film, our thoughts, give it a final verdict. So, my face could give it away, so I'm gonna taper down my thoughts, whether it's good or bad, and I'm just gonna my poker face.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but then people will think it's bad with the thumbnail. But okay, anyways, so go ahead. Let's jump right into it. So, Infinity War, the culmination of decades of Marvel films. This massive media experience that couldn't possibly live up to the hype built for it. You've got this Thanos character who's been teased in several movies. Finally, he invades and he puts his plans into motion. I'll do it myself, he says. Grabs the Infinity Gauntlet. He goes across the galaxy and is grabbing all the gems, and our heroes have to put a stop to it. And this film has, everybody in it. I can't believe how many people they've packed into this film, and yet still somehow made it, coherent. So I'll tell you right away that there's a surprising amount of humor. Yeah. I didn't expect that much humor. I thought it was going to be very serious, very somber.
Well, James Gunn was heavily involved in this.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But I thought that the humor was appropriate, right? Because there's a lot of times where, especially in like a movie that can be like where there's a lot of action or serious, that humor, especially if it's plugged in, like sprinkled in throughout the movie, it feels inappropriate. This was done, I think, really well because there was a lot of humor in the beginning when they're kind of setting up the story where it's appropriate. There's a lot. It's a big ensemble piece. There's a lot of big personalities getting to meet each other, and it
yeah, we got a lot of that. We got a lot of different factions meeting each other. Raccoon meeting people, Guardians of the Galaxy meeting Thor, Thor meeting just a bunch. I can't even name them all. There's a tons. And there's some special guests from new characters, not too many, but there are. And also there is, Joe, a ton of freaking action, right?
Non-stop, man.
Non-stop.
I could my eyes were glued to the screen.
And I was so
great.
It starts right away.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop
at all.
Yeah, the only time they stop with the action is when they're going to get more things to do more action.
But even that is it's tense. Whenever they go on and do more things, that's tense action.
Yeah, and it's so good to see, my favorite heroes in action. I particularly like Chris Evans as Captain America. And they did a battle sequence. You've seen it in the trailers with Wakanda. It was, a satisfying bit there. And wow, I don't want to say a whole lot. So the action was good. They managed to integrate the characters well. Not everybody is going to get a ton of screen time.
But on that point, one of my fears going to this movie would be that we had 90 characters and each one gets 30 seconds to talk, and it didn't feel that way.
Yeah, it didn't.
And so when we were watching it, everyone has something to contribute. And it didn't feel like they're just like peppering little bits.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with the previous movies that they've done before. It's a great build-up, so nobody really feels tacked on.
Yeah.
Everybody had their place, and even if they got a little bit of screen time, you're like, all right, they're there, amazing, because of the previous movies.
So everybody puts in a fantastic performance as can be expected from them in their bit parts. The climax is the entire film, which culminates into a very gratifying ending, in my opinion. So let's just go ahead and get to the brass tacks and give you our final verdicts and whether we think, is this film worth the culmination of all this time? Alex.
Oh, I gotta go first.
Yes, is this film Does the film live up to the hype, sir?
So this film was advertised as, or I was constantly told that this is going to be the most ambitious crossover event. And it absolutely was delivered on that. I felt it was really, really satisfying to see all these different. It felt like different franchises. I know it's all the Marvel universe, but it's all these different ones that like they never really got to cross over, and it was really great to see them work together. The action was great. The humor was appropriate. It wasn't constant humor like we got in the beginning, where I really liked it.
But I like the fact that there's humor, even in an Infinity War. That's something that Marvel gets right.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
it wasn't humorous during
And it's not
the war.
and it's just the things that's missing from DC film. You can have fun being a superhero. You can have fun in this world. There's still a sense of wonderment and visuals, even in this film, where it's an Infinity War.
Yeah.
I love the banter between, Doctor Strange and Tony Stark. I mean,
So is it my final verdict time?
You like Star-Lord and Tony.
Yes, it was great.
And they continue the whole Dad Stark thing with Spider-Man. I was surprised at how much Spider-Man was in it, and I'm happy for that. I think he really lends itself. He makes a movie reference, one of my favorite film of all time. So it's gonna help you out in my book. Did you already give it a rating out of 10?
No. I mean, do you want to finish?
No, I thought you were done. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited.
This one was really good. I can see where people didn't enjoy it as much as I did, and we can talk quite a bit about that later. But I would say that this is probably a 10. This is one that we're gonna talk about this one a really long time, and I don't know when the next one comes out, but it's one I'm gonna be looking forward to because it's really satisfying, and there was only a couple things I didn't like, but we'll talk about those. But yeah, I could say like it's a low 10, but it's a 10.
He popped that cherry. He broke that ice.
He had to.
Alex is
he
in
had
the
to
10.
say that though. It's a low 10.
Oh, I know.
There's one thing. There's one thing. There's one
though.
thing that drives me absolutely crazy, and we'll talk about it.
Okay, all right.
Yes, believe the hype. This movie was totally worth it. I am also going to give it a 10. Action was on point. The comedy was on point.
Oh,
the emotions
were on point.
Man.
Did you a little at the end?
Yeah. I was like,
Okay.
it got to me.
Yeah, all right.
My only flaw.
Yeah.
Go.
It wasn't
So as long as
longer.
it's not a spoil. Yeah,
Oh,
all right.
It wasn't longer. I was okay.
more.
Add another 30 minutes. Make it 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's only 2 hours and 30
Maybe,
minutes.
Joe, maybe there's a
Make it.
cut out there.
Make it.
Maybe there's a longer cut that they'll do on the DVD. I can't wait to see how that's...
Loved it.
So, guys, they did it. I can't believe they pulled it off. Such tremendous expectations, such tremendous hype. And it's difficult. At some point, hype gets out of control, and it'll never reach that level. So if you put your expectations back to a realistic level, and for me, it meets that realistic level. It is a 10 out of 10. I had an experience in the theater waiting for the credits, because of course Marvel has something at the end.
I've had this experience.
Yeah, there's something at the end, so stay, and you have to wait until the very end of the credits.
Long,
but it was an experience sitting in that theater, and that has to count for something. And instead of sort of losing faith in comic book movies, this plants the seeds for the potential for comic book movies to stay and to give us these really creative storylines and reinvent themselves
Kinda make
over
an
and over.
outline. DC.
Yeah, I really hope DC
Nothing can save them.
You
Yes,
leave them alone.
can.
Do I need to go back to my suit? Leave them alone. All right, they'll get their act together. Anyways, that's the non-spoiler review. 10s across the board. This was an experience. It does something there that really deserves to be watched, and we highly recommend you go out and see Infinity War for yourself, and then come back and watch our spoiler section. We're going to do it now, and then in about a week we're going to have an extended discussion where we can go into more depth, where we see the film again, because I want to see it again. I want to see all the things that I missed, and so I gotta. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Go out and see it, and we will see. Stick around if you want to talk spoilers. quick promotion from my game that is up on Kickstarter right now, Street Fighter the Miniatures game. It is in its last days. Thank you guys so much for making this such a huge success, but it is almost over. You got to pick one up now because the miniatures are looking so good, and at this point we've unlocked so much additional free content for Street Fighter and World Warrior pledges due to you guys. We're talking new modes, we're talking new maps, Street Fighter Classic, Tag Team, power-ups modes, so many different component upgrades, a whole new decks, fighters, Guile, Blanca, E-Honda, Dulcie, Balrog, Cammy, Fei Long is unlocked. We're about to unlock T-Hawk with your help, DJ, the whole classic Street Fighter 2 roster, and more after that. It just keeps getting better and better, guys. So definitely, please, if you ever enjoyed any of my videos, any of my reviews, at least visit this page and give it your consideration. You're gonna want to grab these either for now or in the future, or give them to your friends or sell them off. I don't care. You're gonna love the game. That I know. Okay, guys? Thank you so much for how awesome this has been. I hope you enjoy the review. So what are you waiting for? Ready, pledge, fight!
The end has come.